All right, today I wanted to share with you my cook set that I take with me when I go backpacking. This is the cook set I use when I go to, each year I go up to the Boundary Waters in Minnesota for a week where we stay out. I go with other people. We usually have a larger stove for frying fish, but this is the cook set I use for everything that I do. It's a self-contained system. So this is the GSI Outdoors. I believe this is called the Minimalist, and it's Halulite. It might be Halulite Minimalist or Minimalist Halulite. I believe Halulite is what they call the material that it's made out of. It is not titanium, it's not aluminum, it's something of an anodized type material, and I think, like I said, they call it Halulite. So this is my cook set. When you buy the GSI Minimalist, it comes with the lid. It comes with a finger grip. This is a cozy around it, a foam cozy. It comes with that and the pot inside. Everything else that I show you will be other things that I put in here to make this a full cook set. All right, so let's start off here. I'll turn the scale on. And let's weigh what we have here. You may not be able to see the readings on the scale, but I'll let you know what they are. So this weighs 516 grams, and that is 1 pound 2 1/4 ounces. Okay, so that's what we got for weight. Let's move the scale out of the way a second here. And in fact, to make this a little bit easier to see, by the way, this is a folding Trekology aluminum table that I have here. This thing packs down small. There's a lot of videos online with these. Maybe I'll make one sometime when I'm actually outside and using it. But this is what we have here right now. So just for contrast, to make it a little bit easier to see what we're dealing with, let's put a piece of white paper up here. So here's the cook set. This is usually in my pack. I usually put either a little sack around it to make sure the lid stays on. Sometimes I put it in a baggie if I'm going to be in when I'm doing canoe camping, kayaking, that type of stuff. So and let's do a breakdown and I'll show you what we have in here. All right. So the lid, of course, a deflector. I'll explain when and what that's used for later. A fuel canister. Now, for the weight of this, I will let you know that this fuel canister is about half full. So obviously a completely full canister is going to weigh a little bit more than what we just weighed this at. So I have a small towel. This is I think they call this Light Load is the brand I got. These come in a little capsule in different sizes, and you unfold them and add water, and then they fold out. This one I've cut into a smaller section just specifically for this. These weigh next to nothing. They're durable. They dry fast. Maybe do a video on that someday too. So the towel. I also have in here the finger gripper that comes with the GSI Minimalist, and I'll show you how that's used a little bit later. This has a little magnet here. It will stick to your fuel canister for you. We have in here my stove that I'm using right now. It's a Brunton stove. I've had this probably 5-6 years. It's never failed. It's really simple, not self-igniting. We'll get that out and show it a little bit later. I keep in here a small Bic lighter, which is a staple. And then, of course, I also have some aluminum foil. This foil has been compressed. I've actually flattened it out, and it'll fold out. It's quite a bit of aluminum foil, and it can come in handy in a variety of situations for cooking. Then right now, which I don't always take with me, but there's a little hole in the bottom of the cozy. It helps push the helps you to push the actual pot out. Now this was a little bit in there tight, because right now I also have in here 2 pieces of aluminum flashing. This is some flashing that I've cut and I've made some holes in, and I can use this as a windscreen. And the way that I have the holes in here, you can run some little twigs, sticks, stakes, cut some little pieces of stiff wire, coat hanger, whatever, and you can create a windscreen to go around the fuel canister. I'll kind of show you that a little bit too here as we're looking at it. So anyway, here's the pot. And a lot of times I don't take the windscreen with me, or I don't necessarily put it in the cozy because it does leave some marks and scratches on the pot. And I like to keep my gear in as good of shape as possible. The pot itself, without all of this, weighs, let's take a peek here and see. I don't remember the exact weight on it. This by itself, 3 5/8 ounces, 102 grams. Very lightweight, very durable. Once again, not titanium, not aluminum. So hopefully this is all in focus in the camera here. And you can see everything that I had in this for just around a pound. I'll get the stove out and show you kind of how the system goes together. There's a variety of small stoves on the market that'll work with these butane tanks. This one I've just had for a long time. It's probably not the best, but it's simple. The little legs just kind of fold out. They kind of work themselves down once you fold them out. Put it on the butane canister here. All right. This one obviously has a flame adjuster. And in this particular setup, I hope this all stays in focus here. In this particular setup, this will boil water in less than 2 minutes. And what you do here, the lid, which comes with it, you put the lid on upside down. So obviously, hopefully most of you know that if you cover the pot, the water will boil faster. You put the lid on upside down, it will not melt, and it has some venting in there, and that will help your water boil faster. When you're done making whatever you're making, noodles, whatever the case may be, you can use the little pot gripper, pick the pot up off, drop it down in the cozy, and now you can handle it pretty easily. The lid has a drinking spout on it, so let's just say I made some coffee. Lid, as soon as it cools down, I can drink right out of the pot. So that is the setup that I use, and yeah, it all stays contained in here. Measurement-wise, we're looking at, with the lid on here, just about 5 inches high, and I would say maybe about 4 inches in width that this takes up. So it's a pretty small form factor also. All right, let's see if I can get everything put back in here relatively easily. The trickiest part of my setup is getting the stove collapsed back down. The little arms on the stove have to kind of fold a certain way, and I usually just kind of pull them out, loosen them up. I already know they kind of fold over towards the handle a little bit. You get them down as tight as they can. You get your handle up. In the stuff sack we go. And then just, this doesn't fit in here perfectly flat, but you just kind of work it in there. It goes in there pretty close. There's, like I said, some smaller stoves in the market that might fit a little bit tighter. Drop the lighter in. Drop the pot finger gripper in there. Take my tin foil, just work it off to the side. I usually take my canister, take my lighter load towel, just kind of wrap that around there. It helps protect the pot a little bit on the inside. Put it in, my little wind deflector. Oh, real quick, this deflector, I can work this around the stove. It'll set right below the burner and above the canister. And then if I am using these as a windscreen, I'll use this also. They don't recommend using windscreens for these butane canisters, so I'm not in any way condoning that use. That's something I do. My stove sets up pretty high, and with the deflector, there's no heat that gets to this the way that I use it. But that's what this is for, and I think, like I said, I just kind of cut this out of a Fancy Feast can or something or another when I was making some alcohol stuff. Anyway, on top, kind of fold it over a little bit, and there it is. Now these, without the little deflectors, which, real quick, a lot of times I don't like them on the inside. I'll put them on the outside like this, and like I said, this is usually in a bag, a stuff sack, sometimes a freezer bag, something like that. I'll put a rubber band around it, and I'll keep them on the outside, but I did want to just show that it can be on the inside if you don't mind potentially something like that, maybe putting some scratch marks on the actual pot itself. But without these, they don't add much weight. We are looking at right now 496 grams, 1 pound, 1.5 ounces. So you can see the flashing really adds an ounce maybe to it maximum. So anyway, I just wanted to share this little setup that I have. Obviously there's all kinds of videos online of different things that different people have, but you know, this is it. So anything that holds 2 cups of water, no problem. I don't know the exact capacity, you can look it up. 2 cups, no issue whatsoever. So, you know, if you're out and you're eating, you know, your ramen noodles, your mountain houses, whatever, you need your coffee, tea, hot cocoa, a variety of things that you can cook in here. I mean, this can be an all-in-one cook set, pot, cup, everything. I would say, if I go by memory, with the stove, the canister, probably everything that I have that I showed you here, I have less than $50 invested in. So it's also inexpensive, and once again, about a pound. So maybe this will give some of you some ideas, or just sharing what I have. So that's what I'm bringing to you today. Hopefully you enjoy. Thanks for watching.